again, in review, so if you're going to be going back to court, depending on whatever reason you're in court, you're going back to ABCs, so we got, BC, before commerce, and going back to court, it's D's, depositions, debt, discharge. Now you're going back to court to discharge contempt of court charges, and you need a bridge. In order to get there, you need something to stand on. Where do you stand? You're going into court now. Where are you going to be standing? So you need a dock. Right, Admiralty, Commerce, you're going down to the dock. The law of the land. You got to go down to the dock. Do your bullshit down at the dock. So you go down to the dock, you get a docket number, and that's what you get from the clerk. That's what the number is. So once you get your number, or if you already have a court file, that's your docket number, and that's where you want to start going back to correct your errors. That's the point, your point of contact. You need a number to deal with, a file reference number, so you can read it. Somebody can go get your file. Like the police write file numbers, and you need to start thinking about how you have to connect all those known numbers that are connected to your name. And that's what you're going back to do in order for discharge your contempt of court charges and stay in honor. And when you're in court, the judge listens to what you say, so it's always your honor, because the judge listens to what you say and then he repeats it back. So, your honor is honor. You got to think. It's like thinking differently. Like, how's it sounding? Not a person. So I'm the zero. You have first, second, and third person. If you're writing, the zero is me. I need three, a first person, second person, third person, for another zero, a man. To read for the artificial persons that comprise an artificial. I get three persons to deal with two outside that already know what we're talking about. We're just confirming all those words. Yeah, that's what they mean. Well, I condense everything up into one letter. Well, you only need one thing on a piece of paper. I wrote 3 documents: a judicial protection order, balance Social Security on another document, and the third document is my land title. So I wrote the land title under the Land Title Act. The BC legislature took out what I didn't like, left in what I liked, and said, okay, under the authority of Scripture, file this as my land title under Genesis chapter 2, which I'll do. I did my declaration, part 1. This is it. There's 3 parts to it. There's part 1, just how, 1.2, point 3, and it goes on a little bit more detail in the third point about, what the problems are. So, if you want to go back, see how this works. You want to get what you're looking for, like fact, scales of justice, zero balance, BC, AP, and the name of the Lord. When you're at work, you can't make a religious assumption on the job without offending someone. You can't do it. No matter how hard you try, you cannot make a religious assumption on the job without offending someone. The name of the Lord is to be read in the form of a minute. We all have different languages and different ways of writing, and when you see a Bible, a reference Bible, we just reference Bible. You see that? It's because The name of the Lord in Hebrew has no vowels, so you can't pronounce the name of the Lord. It's supposed to be read in the form of a newt. Everybody wants to hear it. It gets set on television. We'll go to services and hear it gets read. It is and it isn't. Yeah, it's a sin, but it's in order to communicate. Go. And I'm not religious myself. I talk to people from all religious persuasions. It's what it says. It says that. It's fine. I didn't write it. I know how to put it in writing. I mean, the Lord put things in. It's Ten Commandments written in stone. Okay, what's happening? How does it? Why do I say that? Why? It makes it easier to see these commandments. So you read this. Read that. We can't choose our parents. It's the way of the world. The story of Adam and Eve. The magic word. Bang. And Eve ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And Adam eats from the tree of knowledge, goes screaming through. Oh, it doesn't eat yet. All those letters. I get the voluptuous. Well, okay, it was over. Done deal. And then, okay, yeah. And then you go back. Whose idea was it? Yeah. And everybody knows. So we keep saying what the problem really is. You get ripped a new asshole. And that's what happened. You have the Pope has an eye in his asshole, and he's only the one that can read in the world. That's all he is. And the other one is just an eyeball on a capstone from new asshole. I can read. Can't speak, can't write. Just the all-seeing eye. Pens or Pampers. Pens that you write on a diaper. You get 2 diapers and you get a few pictures. Business is business. It's not personal. A president of a corporation. I mean, they hide the truth with the truth. You get the keys to the executive office. So when you start work, you go up to the top level, and your day starts in the toilet. Locks keep honest people out. When you go to work, you need the key to the washrooms and get in your office and get in the toilet bowls. That's where the day starts. When you're the president, you need a corpse needs representation, and that's how it gets presented. And it gets turned around because of reading. We want people that are qualified to be able to do these things, but they want more for less. They get blackmailed up there to keep continuing on that. The corporation. So what? It's just a corpse. Doesn't matter if it. Who cares? We're talking about stopples and F's and X. F-35s. No, that's 35 F's. We don't need to multiply the F's. Looking for freedom. You can't. Business is business. Killing is good for business. If you're in the business of killing, as if you're killing. And kids. There's a, men and women have children. And how words get turned around by up and down, and how it gets really reversed. Go back to September 11th. Now, everybody was a child. Now it's a real terrorist attack. Mummy, 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 mummy. All the children want their mummy. And then the teacher, she's got a mummy, and she wants her mummy. And the president's aide, he needs his mummy. He's crying for his mummy. And there's the president of the United States, and he can read, and it's nana, 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 nana. And it's not funny because of words and what words really mean. Because you go back and you double check facts. When there was an owie in the Bush family, it was Nana. He had a nanny and a butler before he can talk to his mummy and his daddy. We have mothers and fathers and mummies and daddies. two levels. Oh, you got to talk to your father. Okay, you're talking to your father. It was like, you already knew when you're talking to your father what was going to happen. I mean, it was, the age old, there is no next time. I'm going to talk about this. Next time comes along and it's like, oh, we're not talking about this anymore. We're into the correction right away. My father was a staff sergeant in military headquarters. I was 8 years old when my father died. And he didn't repeat himself his last name for speaking, and that's it. And I already knew about that part. My father didn't repeat himself, told me to put things in writing. And I had to deal with my father. I was like, I could deal with my father. I knew how to deal with this. Walk into court was, do you have anything to say? And it was, no, I was speaking. It was like, I don't need to be explained about no. That's a yes or no answer, and there was no yes or no, and there is no yes or no. When I go back, it's like, I don't get that again. About do you wish to speak? No, it was like okay, that was toast. I wasn't arguing about what goes on in between and about the writing. Uh, you know, got through one and it was the prosecutor was reading what, and I said I could write. And I was like, 10 days in jail was a good deal. And it was like, I got that time in. It took a long time. I took a year leave of absence when my father died. And I had things in writing, and once the swing started, with my third appearance, I had to hire a lawyer. Going to court, not guilty. I was waiting for a gunshot to go off. I wouldn't even walk to court. People dragged me in. I was facing multiple charges of accessory because somebody thinks their job description is you tell people what to do and they do it, and it's like, hold on, hey, there's all kinds of other issues that you're getting people involved in that's got criminal aspects because you won't take responsibility just because your job description says that, you can't do these things. You can't arbitrarily after contracts get signed and say, oh no, I'm changing contracts. I get to make decisions. You're just the employee, or you're just a kid. I was like, I was 21 years old. Age discrimination. You got to stop thinking. We have to stop, go back. We all need it in writing. We need a docket number so we can discharge our contempt of court charges. And then there's no ship called friendship in court. When you go into court, the judge is ruling for the bank, waiting for your ship to come into your dock, and then you get to discharge. It's your right, and we get things going properly. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody wins. There's winners, all winners. Quit thinking about going into court, talking about last year's losers. People do make mistakes. Everybody's talking about last week's losers because there's no winners. You can't win in court. I don't get any money when I go to court. I don't give a judge a bill. Going into court and giving a judge a bill. Jeez, you have to really stop and think about how you have the right to get the court order to pay the bill that the judge already has a bill for what? All kinds of bills. No number, just a piece of paper. But you can go back and correct your errors. Courts have allowed people to go back and correct their errors. It's a way to handle, stop going in, disrupting the court proceedings. So you know why you're in court. You need to know. We have to be able to communicate with each other. Last time I was in court, I had to hire a lawyer. He was talking to the prosecutor before I got to court. And what do you want to do? You're pleading guilty. What do you mean? They go in, they get to read to the judge. But I'm not allowed in court, so it was just the judge, the prosecutor, the lawyer that I hired. And nobody listened to the judge. double the time and double the fine. And told me she's raped. I've been in a prison for 3.5 months because they don't want me in court. Because I had to go back and correct the error. Nobody listened. This was the sentence. I had a lawyer. I had a prosecutor. We got an agreement. I agreed. It's just the driver's license. I can't work. Gotta find something else to do. So okay, fine. And then they don't want to deal with the appearance before. I don't care about money. Somebody was driving cab nights. He got pushed too far one night, and somebody ripped me off for $5. Couldn't care less about the money. It was what was said in the car. It was like, give me the courtroom full of people. I'm going at it with a judge over $5. Just bang, bang, bang. I don't understand the guilty plea. And he's like, what? Just step up in court as soon as you plead guilty. Explain it to the judge. I don't care. Your job description. People have jobs to do, and they talk about the job descriptions in the bar, and it's like, oh, great, do your job. People can't do their jobs. Can't contract. Well, that's what this is about. Going back and correcting errors. You get the docket number to go back to. And then how we start communicating. This is just the first viewing. I don't like being here. I'm in the library. The acoustics is terrible. I've listened to it. I'm trying to put it together. It's like writing, and this is different. This is just an image. Because I'll be somewhere else doing something else. It's just an image of a past event that you haven't seen yet because you haven't viewed the complete video. You might be in review of the first one. And I can talk to anybody I want. It's hard to deal with when I'm in public. About when people realize who I really am, depending on who it is. Like I ran into the mayor, trying to get a line of communication going about what's really going on, and other gone in like an instant. Because the real problem about speaking about you're here to be told what to do, and they're not. It's a photo walk. You got TV cameras around, and it's like, man, you got a job to do. When you go back and deal with the fictions, the Starbucks, Waves, Blends, they have to pay their fair share. They have to pay for SkyTrain. They're the person that these little boys and girls with the costumes with the guns are looking for. Are fictions. Donald Duck, Daffy Duck, and Mickey Mouse. Where are they? You get lights flashing when you go into a SkyTrain station in Vancouver looking for a fare evader. You're looking for a cartoon character. You want to solve this problem. Think back in about Saturday morning cartoons. Who do you want to listen to? You're talking about people that are, if you look up the definition under the Public Trustee Act, it's persons of unsound mind. Who's the public trustees in society? It's not me. I'm not in a position of public trust. So squirrel. They're looking for somebody nuts. They're looking for nuts all the time. So Rocky and Bullwinkle show. You got Dudley Do-Right, Nell, Snidely Whiplash. You got all the right characters. All the answers are there. Your man's best friend. There's Uncle Peabody and the Wayback Machine. That's where you get your answers. You go way back. Look for your answers. The Law and Equity Act. All English laws from 1858 are still applicable in the province of British Columbia. It's the Magna Carta that was imported to British Columbia. When the police want to read you your rights, you want the Magna Carta there so they can read you your rights. What it says. Section 29 of the 1297 Magna Carta. because that's the Magna Carta that you want them to read from. Section 29, what it says, no free man. You want to hear it. You don't ever hear it from the police about do. What these words really mean. What freedom means. Dumb is Latin. Domicile. It's a peaceful dwelling. That's what you're looking for. I want to go back to my domicile, which I've never known. Something completely be left alone. You don't have to worry about somebody else's. It doesn't belong. I know it doesn't belong to me. It never belonged to me. I never owned any house. Never in my life. I was a renter. Lived in a basement suite for 14 years. Didn't talk to anybody. Didn't socialize. Went out when this started. When I finished for me, I was looking for a way to start the way back. I went to Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, covered the Bible cover to cover, and ended up in the first chapter of the Bible. You have to face the truth about one thing across that line. And there's a galactic sun in the center of the galaxy, and we have a lesser sun. You have to look out, walk out in the pure light of day and look up at creation in the daylight. You look into a light, it blinds you to the truth. You can't see, it's too dark. You have to walk out in the daylight to see. And they phoned the lawyer. I already talked to this little boy, and everybody's upset. Small town. I lived in Peyton Place. I worked at Gossip Central. And everybody's wondering what the problem is. I went down and talked to a little boy. Why? He wasn't speaking to anybody. So when I finally realized what was going on, somebody had to talk to this little boy. So I went down and talked to him. I'd spent a night in jail. That was pretty easy. It was at a retirement party. Go out and have a few beers with a few people. And then after the party, there's Christmas parties in town. So I figured, okay, I'll walk down to the bar, get a cab, get a beer there. There's no cab. Walk down to the cabaret. There's no cab. Have a couple of drinks. Ask the bartender to phone a cab. Oh, there's no cab. What are you going to do? Phone the police. Well, I'll tell them my phone. I just walked out and waited for the police to come by. Just said there's no cab. Yeah, ended up in jail. I went back a week later and explained the situation. Cab driver has throat cut in Halifax that night. Nobody knew where the cab driver was. I'm just a customer. I walked in, ordered a couple of drinks. I'm entitled to a room under the legislation or a ride home. Serve drinks, serve rides. That's what the law said. They phone the police. They have a place. And then you can pay tribute. It costs so much more money to put somebody in a jail cell at $10,000 a day than to put them up in a hotel room for $200 like they're supposed to, because of the national debt. Right? Somebody needs the tribute in Ottawa because they keep fighting out their face outside of Parliament. They're in contempt of court. And the contempt of court has gone to that level after 9/11. It went right through the ceiling in 9/11. And there's no going back, and people haven't, it was the reality. Mothers were sitting at home, and that was their child sitting in the classroom. It didn't matter anymore. After that, they went 15 ways from Sunday. That's what this does to people. The first, second, third person starts splitting. Now you got 9 persons all arguing about telling what was he doing in the classroom full of children in the first place. Any other time, any other place, if he so much as farted, the SS would have whisked them away before anybody got a whiff of the truth about what's really going on in the world. back to summing up, saying the World Freeman on the Land Society, it's a social club. It's a nice place to join. You have to think about how you have to zero balance your accounts, creating the same, find out the problem you're in, because you're creating a new problem each time all over again. Now you're gonna have to set up a judiciary. You're gonna have some place to write your rules for your World Freeman Society, and then you're gonna have someplace else to balance the books, keep everything in balance, because then you have to deal with everybody outside the world that you've created, the artificial person called the World Freeman on the Land Society. I wrote to join the Canadian Freeman on the Land Society, and I was meeting with everybody. We had to shut it down. Too many people started, couldn't get any progress. We did. It was to get a signature verification that we read things, and we tied it all into a Bible, and then a copy for everybody, one copy for themselves and one for somebody else that they came. So we have 3 copies. Just get used to the 3 copies about it, just so we can agree about what we've been reading. You get 2 or 3 people kind of doing this, and some zealous coming in. We weren't getting anywhere. It works. You need to do it as you're separating yourself from everybody. You need to get together in groups, agree about checking. You want verification. When you're reading the Charter of Rights, you read it, and that's good. But you can't. How do you prove that you read it? Do you have anybody with you when you read it? Did you read it to them? Did they read it to you? Reading it, and you get people together and talk about what is it. You have somebody like you watch a video, somebody makes a comment. The best notice that they read, one of the best notices they've ever read, is they don't understand the words, and that's another F. It's unacceptable. Somebody's years of watched people coming out of high school, and it's getting worse. You try to do it with change, so you don't get. I don't want a pocket full of change. You get an odd number, $2.57, and a $10 bill. You want a 5 back or something. You look at it, and you have to add everything up, put it in the machine to get the answer, because they can't do it themselves anymore. The calculators, they went to school and started putting numbers in and getting answers, instead of having to process how you get the numbers, or slide rule. People don't know. You used to build buildings with a slide rule. Excellent, piece of engineering. The slide rule is real fast. You can do massive calculations just sliding this bar back and forth with a cursor. They just needed to know how to do it. You ask somebody to know what a slide rule is, they'll look at you and it's like, what? You show it to them, and you can build a high-rise building. It's just people can't remember, and how dangerous that is. Collective amnesia. That truth is the first casualty of war, and that's the first thing that happens. Is the collective amnesia is getting droopy. You're gonna do when we stop killing. Who do we try? Well, killing. We're all involved in the killing. Everybody knows there's actually people outside that want nothing to do with it. Stay outside. During the Vietnam War, during the draft, people if they had reported to the draft board, they asked everybody to line up on a yellow line. They say everybody that in the army take a step forward. Now, if they take a step back, they can go. Because that's how everybody volunteered to go to Vietnam. You have to volunteer to join the army. They can't force you to join the army. because you can step back. When they step up to the line and they say, everybody in the army step forward, you go, no, I'm stepping back. They have to let you go because you're nothing but trouble. They don't want nothing to do with you in the military. When you do something like that and you go, I'm not doing what you're telling me to do. And it's like, and right off the bat, you say that, it's like, there's no point in arguing with it. They just tell you to leave. It's just easier. That's what we do. It's just easier to say, step back and go, no, why? Intelligence is the ability to solve a problem, and there's no time limit. The problem's been solved. Look at it properly, and then the rapid change will happen. Going back again, in review of sources of information on religion in the Bible. The Bibles is plural. It's a reference Bible of court. And they translated the King James Bible into modern English in 1769. The Apocrypha is still a part of the King James Bible. So you have a factual copy of the King James Bible from 1611, and then they have a factual 1560 Geneva Bible. They're both written in Middle English. They both have Apocrypha, and you can get the Rains Dewberry. I believe that's how you pronounce it. If I'm not mistaken, that's the Catholic English Bible. You have three of them. You can check your quotes, see what the points of view from each side of this, and then you have the Latin translation of the Bible, the original codexes, which include the Old Testament, the Septuagint, and how it was translated into Greek, and the original Bible is in Hebrew. So, language is going this way, language is being written this way. Now, when you finish writing, you're going back. And actually, if you go 3 chapters of the Bible, that's it. You already know. You know, the minute you read the third, you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Such a good reason they can't even finish yet. When you're writing, you haven't finished writing, you can't, somebody was going to show me how to write, and it's like, no, I haven't finished writing. I'm writing for you. I know a person can't read. That was a problem. Been writing for a long time. It's a person can't read. It's one of the big secrets of being in Freemasonry is a person can't read. A person, their secrets. The secret is that's the biggest secret of Freemasonry is they have to keep it secret, which means you can't tell anybody anything, which means you can't speak. That doesn't the Joint Lodge doesn't, it talks to us, a man's as good as his word. People want to know if bonds work. Yeah, they work. I wrote a bond, as I said, and I wrote it with 2 people. Somebody had to go to court and they're taking responsibility for everybody. And I said, okay, I'll write a bond with you. And they wanted me to go to court and speak. I have to write the judge. Judge has to know I'm in court. I can't ambush my opponent. So I had a deal as me going back to court. Anyway, I didn't, everybody kind of knew. I told a little boy, I know how the gossip mill works. They were trying to stop me. No, not this time. And I got witnesses, and it's like surely one of us wrote these bonds that we all agreed what the words meant. Surely one of us wrote the bonds, and that was me. And we mailed off we did the whole UCC claims, and I did everything through the United States Treasury. It's like I already knew. Once I crossed that line, once I made that deal with that little boy, it was like, no, it's like everyone needs everyone. And I actually put it in writing. And all the bullshit in my life, it was like, yeah, you put it in writing. I can talk to anybody I want. Nobody's allowed to talk. Guilty. Because the courts are real, and it's not a joke. They're real courts. And it doesn't, just didn't make a mistake. Because I get in the court, and it's like, no, it's that, that lawyer, it's always been the lawyer, speaking. It's like, no, deal with this. Going, getting information, where I got information, why I did things. People trying to stop me, and it's like, so I wrote the bonds, and when it was after I'd gone to Vancouver to speak to somebody, and I showed them a letter that Chinese official wrote in 1835, the Law and Equity Act. Marijuana leads to heart drugs, leads to the Opium Act in 1924. You find out who got together to write that piece of legislation. You get two of the biggest drug dealing families in the world get together and write ban marijuana in the English-speaking world, and go a little back farther back and find out what the East India Company, when they were in India, about this weed that grew everywhere, and it wasn't a problem. You can't tax it. You can't tax it. You create a problem so you can control it because of free, because freedom. Once one thing's free, really free, then you can't charge. You can't be like, you can't put a meter on it. Water's not free. There's a water meter on a house. When the house is consuming water and sewage, they always got, but anytime you're dealing with a person, as BS goes in front of a person, there's always a but, so they can entitle them now to speak, to tell you, the customer, that no, they can't do their job. If they do their job, there's zero balance. And you gotta get past that. In order for you to zero balance your account, you have to let somebody accept that somebody's done it already. I zero balance my accounts. I've done all these things. That means I don't have to pay tribute. If I don't have to pay tribute, you don't have to pay tribute. And in order for you not to pay tribute, you need to do your job properly, which is it's about doing business at a distance. And I've already, people in Ottawa have the documents they need, and they just sit there because they can ignore it in their hearts. They just ignore it. When it needs, these things need to be addressed. So the way I put in enclosement for 3 signature verification, for 3 autograph verification, that these things have been read. And there's 2 documents to go. There's 3 recipients. Majesty Queen Elizabeth doesn't have to read this. I've accepted for value, Magna Party, and things like that, where Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth is the head of state, and she's not responsible for the things that have been done in her name, because that's not the way it works. She's granted me these freedoms always have. I always knew this. And it's like, what's the problem? You work for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. Okay, well, I don't, I didn't sign up. And it's like, what do we have to sign up? Nowhere did it say you had to sign up. I got managed to find a way out. I didn't apply for a social insurance number. My father did. Legally, I got a number. I don't need it. It's zero balance the accounts. It doesn't. We can share jobs. It doesn't cost the company any money for an employee because of zero balance. You can have 5 employees for one position. You only have to work 1 day a week. Work's just something to do. So we can do different things. What do you want to be when you grow up? What I want. I can do what I want. Author. Author is an authority. I can write any contract I want. I don't know if I can do the job, I'll write and do the job, or I'll learn to do the job. That's how you get an education. It doesn't cost the company anything. You have to watch somebody do a job, learn from somebody doing a job, how we learn to do things. Watch, listen. If we remember, go back. We learn to write by writing letters when we were children. We have to write all the letters. Each letter, you become an adult. You mail something off in an envelope. It's a letter, one letter. It's just a letter, a little letter. There's some understanding in it, but it's just a letter, one letter. They have to put the letters together so they can go back and read all the letters together, find out what it is your intent, your real intent. Finish what we started. I have nothing against the world freedom. What we're looking for freedom. The freedom is here. Always been here. You're getting trapped. Once you're in, you're trying to get, looking up over the toilet bowl. Find out you're living in a toilet bowl. The natural world outside will be denied the rights to real free travel. Freedom is no charge, no cost. The fare boxes on the SkyTrain, the buses, cabs, something to do. We need to qualify to be able to do these things. You don't have to worry about. I like driving cab. Cab is an interesting job. You get to meet all these people. It's great conversations. If you had trouble, let you know it's. I had trouble lots of times. The only thing you got to think one step ahead. Trouble always letting you know it's somebody looking for an excuse to swing. Take the frustrations out on somebody. You want to take the frustrations out about the artificial person. Who can you can't blame you because you're a person. You're part of it. Because you're a willing participant. You got to stay your distance. It's just a piece of paper with your name on it. It's a person. It's just my name on a piece of paper. How my name and the words get on a piece of paper is the most important part. I put the words on, they're not my words, they're your words. I learned the same language that you did. You wrote these, wrote these words because in order to compress and take time, the time it takes to articulate your words and your sentences into complete thought. You get the court to compress these words into cases so you can cover a lot more bases in your court cases. You court 2 or 3 sentences. You have to read the whole case to see how it was used in the context of that case, and I can still use that. You put it, when you're writing for court, you're writing for this. There's no time limit. You just want to get a court docket number, just get it registered with the court. You don't actually have to have a hearing date. You just want to get the docket number, let everybody know ahead of time. I'm building a dock, so when my ship comes in, I get the words, I get the I want my cargo, I want the goods, the good, the evil, is he all stuck? No, yeah, no, it's and the idea that greed is going to take over the world because consumption, corporations is out of control. No, that consumption gets under control because the consumer, the real consumer, has to answer. The customer is always right, and it takes time in order to balance your books. So they're being held back by responsibility. That no, greed doesn't work. It consumes precious resources that belong to our children as much as they belong to us. And our childhood was robbed or tainted, but that was, yeah, it's forgiveness. We got to stop the blame game. Just look at the big fall. It was Adam had the big fall. You got to pick them up. You got to put them in these places. You need a zero. You got Adam. You have religion, and how did Adam from the zero? He's a serpent. Split. Now we have we need to know his name. It's written all how that was the real curse of the serpent. Isn't that the time, the age that we're coming with when I'm doing this? It's not that far away. 2 weeks. The age don't matter. Everybody's waiting for it. It really already happened. It's really already happened. You look back at what Revelations really means. Is, people disappeared. We were here, but you never noticed. We're here. We've never gone anywhere. We don't. I don't exist as a person. It gets up to a certain level in Ottawa. My mother passed away before I said I was going to Vancouver, and I went and saw my mother, and everybody continued on with their bullshit at work. And I phoned my mother, and I was informed that my mother passed away, and I asked why I hadn't been informed. And I'm not a member of the immediate family. I already knew that. They knew that because I told. They had explained certain things about my relationship with my mother, so that it would make it easier for the staff to try to deal with my mother diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. It's a little more complicated than that. But the RCMP asked them to check, and give you bullshit fucking stories. Things come down. This is about why. I'll take another break. Okay, let's continue on about things you should know. I quoted. I went through the Bible. Now, when you're quoting judges, this is how you follow the cases. And if you go back, Mr. Edward Coke did a petition he sent to the Crown. And then he's done reports. He was a judge His writings are highly respected. In order to use these quotes, you have to be able to get there. You don't want to start quoting Sir Edward Coke going into court unless you know what this really means. Because you're going to get ahead of yourself in this, and you're going to get yourself in a world of trouble. Especially, when you start quoting certain individuals because of the price that they paid for the things that they did in order to ensure our freedom. The price that we paid to get information out and how it really gets out, because you don't find out until it's too late. When you're sitting on the bench, there's nothing you can do. As they accused you, the moving party, the judges, he's in the boat, and the boat's rocking. You're the moving party from the judge's point of view. You're sitting there, you're rocking back and forth, you're standing on the dock. You move and you go off the dock. Or the judge is rocking the boat because you're asking him to rock the boat because you're in contempt, because you're speaking and we're going down this whirlwind to the bottom till we get settled, see what's coming down. You want to stop and think ahead. So there's no time limit on the paperwork. Bring in your initial paperwork. The age of, use the Age of Majority Act. When you look at the Age of Majority Act, it's brought under the Age of Majority Act. Basically, you fill out the form. You get it. Notary public is the clerk of the court. Is a notary public. It's all that time is right there with the clerk. And you file the papers. And you get a file reference number. Now you have something to work with. You want to be getting, that's legislature paperwork. You have to be thinking what the legislature needs and what you need to put together. You want to keep the paperwork down. You don't want a stack of paperwork in order, time. Time is money. Somebody has to read it. You want enough people to read it really. As long as they know what they're reading, they can look at it. They can speed read. When you know what it is you're reading, you've read it so many times, it's not necessary to read it again. It can be something this thick, but if I know what I'm going to be reading ahead of time, that's all right. It's not a problem. But it's what everybody's got different things they want to know. You want to look at what we need to get done. We all need to get to the same reading the same language when we get to court. We want to agree with the judge and the prosecutor. Everybody wants to be in agreement about what the words mean, because the words are already written, and we all got to agree about what these words mean. We're all in agreement with what these words mean. We all know what this means. There's no doubt about what this means. We're all in agreement about that. It's not a problem. We don't have to be going every morning reading this again. But every time you get a different look about how things have to be done, like the Bankruptcy Insolvency Act says this, and you don't want to try to misinterpret what the Bankruptcy Insolvency Act says, because that's how we balance the books. You get through to one section 130 or 136. I'm not sure. I didn't bring any of the papers here because I was just going to be doing a little video presentation, an introduction. When you find the right section, it's like boom, everybody's focused in on what we need to be focused on. About we all agree. The notices of intent, claim of right. They got a basic, common theme about what everybody's trying to tell everybody. That there's an understanding, there's freedom out there, and that's what we want. The freedom's out there. It's to step back and look at the right words. You got to get to the Magna Carta and go, no, read me my rights. If you're going to read me my rights, read it right, because those are the words that we are all heading towards. It's Section 29 of the 1297 Magna Carta in British Columbia. Everybody in British Columbia, those words mean a lot. They mean everything. To none will delay, to none will deny, right, justice. It's just a man speaking in court. That's all it means. Free speech. Justice. Just a man standing in court speaking. It means everything. Nothing else is important anymore except a man just speaking in court, in honor, not in contempt of court anymore. We get our freedom, domiciles to go home from the dock when we leave court. That ship comes in.